Welcome back to the Tuesday Weekend, the podcast for people who think mirepoix would make a great name for a cat.
It would.
A couple of weeks ago, I asked my social media feed what people's favorite soup was, and we got a lot of good answers. And some were specific to a particular person or restaurant, like my dad's duck noodle soup or Nick's answer of whatever Franck Picel is making today. So instead of trying to crown a best or a favorite, we are going to attempt to make a soup tier list. Normal YouTube tier list rules apply. S tier at the top, then A, B, C, D, and F. So to begin, we will start with your average brew pub's tomato soup.
That's a trick question, Joshua. What's an average brew pub?
No, not
What are you talking
the
like
one.
the boneyard?
The one that comes into your mind, right? When I first say that, not the most spectacular. This isn't the $20 high end Italian restaurant bowl of
the local hangout, right?
The local hangout, the pretty well made,
like Fox's.
They make it in house, but it's not a bought product.
All right, so I usually would give them a B because I'm happy with it, but it could always be elevated, but I'm happy to get it.
Usually something like that is coming, like I said, even sides are going to have to be involved on some of these. That's usually something with like a grilled cheese sandwich or a hot sandwich on a cold day. It honestly usually isn't the best, but it's what you want.
Okay.
So I give it a C just because it's there. It's going to be good. I know what I want, but it's not going to be like, oh, you have to go try this. It's just like, it's a cold, snowy day and I want soup and a sandwich, and they've got something that will accommodate that for me.
All right. So how about we put it as a
B minus.
A B. Well, I was going to say a C plus on its own, a B served with grilled cheese.
That works for me. Sure.
Okay. Next up, Campbell's condensed tomato soup.
Trash.com. I don't want it. It's too salty. That's an F.
Really never got into that too much. Again, growing up Italian, tomato soup just staying a thing.
Yeah.
We're already using tomatoes in half the dishes that we cook for dinner and stuff. So I got to go in incomplete on that one because I just never really tried it or had it.
For me, this holds that nostalgic Bob Barker Price is Right era. Like I'm sick at home with a pack of saltines and a can of tomato soup. So, all right, but I'm willing to put that down in the F tier. If that's
it's no offense to Campbell's. It's just that when I was sick, it was always ramen. So
I'm sure we can find an off-brand tomato soup that would go the grade below that, certainly. But
there's like probably hundreds. Campbell's is the best of the condensed tomato soup.
Okay, next, proper ramen.
That's S tier for sure.
A.
S minus A plus.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I've had it before and it was okay. Then I had it where it was very good.
I'm starting to think a lot of these on this list is going to be atmospheric.
Sure.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on the place. All right. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Pho.
That's the same. It's atmospheric, so S/A. Have you had bad pho?
I've only had pho once or twice. Like I said, I like ramen better.
Yeah.
So I give it a B.
Okay.
When I had it, it was really good, but also I don't think I've had enough to actually truly experience it where you can add the different stuff to how you want it. And I haven't had a time to really build up the flavor vault that I need to know this will taste like this.
People from ramen and how that broth is produced and how pho broth is produced. Ramen has more leeway because there's several different types of ramen, but pho broth is pho broths. Like if you mess up pho broth, that's like if you messed up French onion soup. There is definitely pho out there that isn't pho at all.
Yeah. Personally, I have to give pho. I liked it, but I got to give it an incomplete because I don't think I've had enough to give a truly educated grade on it.
All right. How about miso soup?
Again, that's if you're in the right place, it's fantastic.
I make pretty good miso soup myself, but I also use the miso. So sometimes I'll just buy noodles, and so I'll get miso to make my ramen, or I'll get miso and I'll make like some breakfasts I have is like a poached egg, miso soup, and rice, like as Asian.
That sounds very Korean.
There's a sushi place I go to. I'll probably go there tonight for dinner. Full Moon Sushi. I'll give them a shout out later, but they do their miso is straight regular, and then they do one with live clams and mushrooms.
Oh, very interesting.
Super good. You do have to let it sit for a few minutes when you get it, unless you like drinking stuff that's almost boiling.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they do take the top off and the clams are opening up, and it's just.
That's great. Good soup, right? Good atmosphere.
Good, yeah, good atmosphere.
So I feel like miso is kind of a trick question for
Yeah.
me because I use miso as a flavoring base a lot, and I don't traditionally eat miso the way that a lot of people eat it. I usually will get some other soup, so that's
So
an
another
incomplete for
like
me.
A/incomplete.
Yeah.
I'm going A, and ambiance again is also a big deal.
I will say there have been a couple of the longer hikes that I've taken where I take the packets of single serving instant miso and
For camping, that's
and it's
key because you need
Yeah.
salt out
and
on camping
exactly
and
the
hiking.
That's great.
in the mornings or evenings when it's cooler. It's a great little. I don't drink a lot of tea. I would rather
No.
make a little miso soup and drink that,
Or chicken
or chicken,
stock,
chicken
chicken
stock.
Yeah. No, so I love miso soup.
packets of that.
It's pretty much something I almost always get when I go to a sushi place.
If you're doing it correctly, it's hard to mess up.
Yeah.
They should all taste within kind of a regular range.
It's almost like that McDonald's comfort thing where every sushi place you go, there's going to be different stuff, different prep, different everything. But the miso soup is always like a good base rock. It's like, okay, this is exactly what I was expecting.
You should know what you're getting. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then next, instant ramen. And now I do realize in the last several years, American markets have boomed in the instant. It is not just the top ramen anymore. So there's a range within instant ramen, but we'll just take instant ramen as it is.
Okay, so I grew up on instant ramen. I already mentioned that I would rather have instant ramen over condensed tomato soup. So like instant ramen, it depends on who's cooking it and how much energy do I have when I'm cooking it.
I will still put a soft-boiled egg occasionally into my instant ramen.
I mean, I put a lot of vegetables in my instant ramen. I'll put tofu in my instant ramen. I'll put seaweed in my instant ramen.
Well, it's instant ramen. You've got to put something in it to get any flavor out of it besides the cardboard flavor of the noodles.
So if you're eating it as a base by itself, maybe a D. And then if you add stuff, you can pull it up to a C.
If you actually throw a little bit of effort in, I mean, a buddy of mine used to do it with fried Spam.
Oh, yeah. And that's very
fried
Hawaiian.
Spam and then cook it in that, and it was actually really good.
That's very Hawaiian and Filipino of him.
Oh, yeah. Well, it kind of fits since he was Hawaii and was Filipino.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Oh,
it was right there. So like if you put some effort into it, when I've had it, I'd say I give it like a B, but just straight up D. Just
like it was
throw it in the water and eat with the little flavor packet.
My favorite afternoon snack was I would make instant ramen and I would put a slice of American cheese in it and like use a little less like of the liquid. And so it was just cheesy ramen, and I would eat that like after school.
Sounds like mac and cheese.
Like really, really.
Yeah, like ramen and cheese.
When we were hiking the Appalachian Trail a couple of times,
oh no,
we would take just the packet from the mac and cheese, because you could buy the individual Velveeta packets.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mix those into a spicy ramen. And it would just be, spicy cheesy ramen.
That sounds great, actually.
And it was great on the trail.
It is great on the trail. It's not something I'm normally going to do a lot at home, but on the trail, those calories and that salt was great.
And then later time, we will have an episode about trail food.
Trail food,
but
absolutely.
we'll leave that for another time.
Kind of our tendencies. All right, moving on. Egg drop soup. I think it's fine.
I don't like it.
It's all right.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like it.
C minus. B.
Yeah, C minus, C right in there. It's all right.
It's fine. It has to be poorly made to be offensive, but it's rare that it's like, ooh, egg drop soup is the thing that I am craving right now.
Yeah,
no, because if there's egg drop soup on the menu, there's usually wonton soup on the menu, and I'd rather have that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
All right, minestrone.
Minestrone, I'm going to go with a solid B on that, because to me, minestrone, it's a nice soup, but it's also kind of a base for a lot of different other soups. When you start adding in some proteins and stuff and different things, it's basically minestrone with this or minestrone with that.
Be on that too, and then if it has a couple of minestrones have the little noodles.
Yeah,
that's A tier right there. I love the little noodles.
The little round.
What are the zuppa noodles or something?
There are a couple different ones, like the small diddolini.
Oh, diddolini. Yeah. Diddolini.
But, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Potato leek.
A.
B. I made some the other night. I could have done a better job, but
Leave it. I don't have it nearly as much as you guys have.
Oh,
So for
and
me, it's more of a
the
treat
first
to have
time-
it because, I mean, no, I've had it a lot, but you don't see a lot. You don't have a lot of French restaurants around anymore, really.
No, my buddy Ashley, this is one of her favorite soups. So shout out to Miss Ashley. But
Yeah, when I can get it, love it.
awesome.
All right, I'll go A on that. Chicken noodle.
Hey, is this going to be like a homemade chicken noodle, a restaurant chicken noodle, or a canned chicken noodle? Because
Let's say,
for me, chicken noodles got to be homemade. That's it. I don't want to order at a restaurant.
The variety we have been discussing so far. So let's go homemade on that one.
When's the last time I made chicken noodle at home? It's been a while.
It's been a while. I mean, we make
Good.
chicken stock and then make other soups with that. So it probably has been a while since we had a straight chicken noodle here.
Yeah, I think it's more likely I make chicken rice, but I also I'll throw that in the same realm as chicken noodle, chicken rice. So I'll give that an A.
Also, on the chicken rice front, my buddy Jason, Greek guy, great cook, and also Army Colonel.
Oh yeah,
he makes a chicken lemon rice soup that when he makes it, we go to his house to eat it.
Oh no.
Like he would just send out a text, "Hey, I'm making soup tonight. I'll be up late." Like I get off work at like 10 or 11 and show up at 11 o'clock. There'd be like half a dozen people at his house all having soup.
ladies and gentlemen, if you ever see Nick just going through San Diego like Tokyo Drift, he's heading over to his friend's house for soup.
I've got the car to do that in too. Yes.
So then next, pozole.
Pozole, yeah.
Probably A, S, whatever. Absolutely fantastic.
I'm willing to put pozole up in S tier.
You know, I have a story about pozole. One of our customers, Miss Candy, she had spent a long time waiting for a kidney transplant, and she could only eat certain foods. And then when she finally got her transplant, as a thank you, because we'd make the certain foods that she would be able to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And, as a thank you, she made us homemade pozole with all the accoutrements with it, with the like shaved radish and fresh tomato and everything. And that was so good, Nick. And I just felt so appreciated. So like, totally cook your chef friend's food because we will appreciate it. Cook your bartender's food, okay? Like cook your server's food. We want food. We want.
It's like there's a reason as a bartender I go sit at a bar and get a drink. It's because I want someone to make me a drink.
Right. Like
even if it's a beer, it's like, can I just get a beer and a shot? Yeah, thank you.
That's the best thing. Like
absolutely,
show up to somebody's house, make them food. We're not gonna complain. You'll hear no bitching from us. We'll love you for that evening, and we'll be fed.
All right.
Sorry for
moving on. So next, menudo, which, okay, I will say the couple of times I've had, because it's been homemade. Well, I've had it in a restaurant once, and I could recognize that it is well made. I just don't like tripe. And so
I don't think I've had this one. Is this a Mexican soup?
yes.
No.
It is also a very popular Mexican hangover remedy.
Yes.
And that's when I've had it a few times hungover. So my judgment is incomplete because anytime you're eating anything hungover, you're just trying to get through it. You're not really going for taste, flavor, judgment. Like, oh, this is fantastic. You're like, God, I hope I don't get sick.
All right, menudo. We might come back to you in the future.
All right, then one I know both of you have had, French onion.
I'll give it a B.
It again depends on where you're at and who's making it. Yeah. Like the hotel, they took it off the menu and I was kind of pissed about it, but they made a really good French onion soup.
This is one of those recipes that I could probably talk about for a whole segment because the stock, how you caramelize the onions, how long you caramelize the onions, the crouton versus if you put a whole piece of bread on top, if you're using Swiss or Gruyere or
I
whatever.
believe I could also probably talk a whole.
All right, but
we should do a French onion soup.
And I have had some spectacular ones, and I've had some that meet expectations and go no further than that. So I'm okay putting this in the B.
Yeah, I am too because there is so many different ways you can spin this.
I can go with B too. I mean, like you said, I've had some that are like, this is out of this world. And I've had some that are like, this is French onion soup.
I've had one or two. It's like, oh, I now have a new understanding of what this soup could be. And then I've had some where it just tastes like it's out of a can. You throw it under the salamander with cheese on. That you don't care. Yeah.
Yes.